What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
So recently, Larry Bird had some comments to say about LeBron James, the great Larry Bird, Larry Legend. And apparently, it turns out that ESPN First Take, the panel, felt like they had to talk about it, felt like they had to debate about it. Now, I find this particularly interesting because Larry Bird and LeBron James are two of the players that we cover pretty extensively here on Boo TV with our subject matter. So what I'm going to do is watch the video, obviously, react to it. I'll pause the video when I feel like I need to chime in because sometimes I forget things because the video is 12 minutes and I'll definitely forget things that I want to say if I wait till the end. And then I'll probably have some words to say at the end of it all. So let's get into it. All right, so I found out that YouTube blocked this video roughly 3 hours ago. So I'm going back and I'm going to delete all the video footage from ESPN, but in the description of this video, I will place a link to the video that I was reacting to so you understand what the hell I'm talking about. All right, so I would advise you to go watch the video from ESPN First Take in the description of this one, and then come back to this video. But if you've already seen the conversation of Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, talking about the Larry Bird comments on LeBron James, which involved Michael Jeffrey Jordan as well, then you don't have to worry about watching the video. Yeah, sorry about the inconvenience. YouTube is so ridiculous now. Just keeping it real. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. All right, this is going to be one with, I feel like, a lot of pausing to get my thoughts out. So first of all, Shannon Sharpe crazy. Michael Jordan, no. He did not beat any of those guys in the 80s. No. He never beat Bird in the playoffs. Swept. We know that. You know, Scottie Pippen took years to grow. So did Horace Grant. The Bulls had a lot of growing to do around Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan even had to, as great as he was, as phenomenal as he was, he got better with each year in so many different facets. But that Eastern Conference that Michael Jordan and the Bulls were in was a very difficult conference. Not only that, I mean, you talk about the 1986 Boston Celtics are arguably the greatest team of all time. Larry Bird's 86 Celtics. So obviously, you got Boston Celtics there with Bird, Parrish, McHale, DJ, Ainge, all them boys. You got the Milwaukee Bucks with Sidney Moncrief and his squad. You got the 76ers with Charles Barkley, Dr. J, Bob McAdoo, the Secretary of Defense, Bobby Jones. You still had the Atlanta Hawks with Webb and Dominique Wilkins. You still had the Bad Boy Pistons. And no, Michael never knocked these guys off in the 80s. And no, he didn't knock Magic Johnson off in the 80s. But he couldn't have unless he got to the finals. So he didn't meet the Lakers until the 1990-1991 NBA Finals. And while Magic was older, he was still an all-star caliber player. He still led the Lakers to the finals without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Magic on that season was like damn near 20 points per game, damn near 13 assists and like throwing like 8 rebounds. I mean, the dude was still damn near walking triple-double. Like that was a beast Eastern Conference now. The NBA back then was just more of a beast as a whole. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the only 2 teams that he beat in the 1980s was he beat the Cleveland Cavaliers twice, who were a good team, and then I think he beat the New York Knicks once. But he wasn't beating any more teams until you got into the 90s. These guys are crazy. All right, so Stephen A. Smith is more of a LeBron James guy than you think. He only debates against LeBron James when it comes to Michael Jordan or Michael Jordan versus LeBron. But any other time, Stephen A. Smith is more or less pro-LeBron in many, many areas and many, many facets. He thinks LeBron James is the second greatest player of all time. So it makes sense. Time out. See, that's not fair. You can't do that. Have we ever seen a player play this long at this advanced age and still be this good? No, we haven't. We absolutely haven't. And I can go into why, all the reasons why and all the context, but I'm not even doing all that. I'm not. So that's absolutely true. Most people do appreciate what they're seeing, whether they are a fan or not a fan. Whether you're a hater or a lover. Many people will still dial in to see LeBron James, to hate on him, or to love him, or just to watch and be along for the show. Okay? But to say that you can't critique this man just because of his age and longevity, how long he's been in, that is completely unfair. Because if you're going to give him praise while he's doing good and all of this high claim, then you have to do the opposite, or you shouldn't be demonized for critiquing him. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Now, that's not fair. And I definitely won't stand for that. As a guy, as a Kobe Bryant fan, when I watched this guy in year 20 limp his way to the end of his career after a torn Achilles, followed by a broken knee and broken shoulder, not sure about the last two, what order it was in. But either way, he sustained those 3 injuries, limping with all his mileage on him. Body completely betrayed him and broken down. That people they held back no punches when talking about Kobe Bryant, saying that he sucked, this, that, and the third. Reporters even came to LeBron James post game. I don't remember who they were playing. Hey, what do you not verbatim? Hey, what do you think about Kobe Bryant and how he sucks now? There's something like that. And LeBron James, to his credit, looked at it and was like, dude, Kobe Bryant does not suck. All right, listen to me, man. So, with all the context of Kobe Bryant's injuries, and before he tore his Achilles, he was still a top player in the league, and they didn't take any of that into consideration, and they hammered this guy game after game after game. No. They weren't understanding of his situation when he played bad, and injuries had a lot to do with that. So no. No, you can definitely critique LeBron James when he doesn't show up or when he plays bad. That's nonsense, KP. First of all, are they even going to mention the fact that LeBron James didn't even make the playoffs? His first 2 seasons in the NBA failed to make the playoffs in that Eastern Conference? I'm just saying. Bet you they won't bring that up. I'm just saying. I'm keeping it fair on both sides. Well, who the hell did Mike play? He was playing all-time great teams. Like, all-time great teams. All time. Now, I do think that 2003, 2004 Detroit Pistons team could have battled in the 80s with them squads. That was an elite defensive team. But LeBron James did not go to the playoffs to play that team. LeBron didn't make the playoffs that year. That was his rookie year. So he didn't play that Detroit Pistons team. So yeah, okay. Once LeBron got to the finals, it was years before he ever went back. It wasn't up until he joined the Miami Heat was he able to get back to the finals. Once Mike went to the finals, he kept going to the finals. And he only didn't go to the finals when he came back from baseball and wasn't quite in basketball shape and wasn't quite Michael Jordan, but came back the next season to win 3 championships in a row. But I'm just saying, both of these guys were more or less losing in the beginning of their career. But once one started winning, it was dynasty time. That would be Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan never missed the playoffs until he came back with the Washington Wizards. And like Stephen A. Smith, like I said this before, we have never seen a player play this long and be this great at this advanced stage of his career, like LeBron James. So comparing that to Wizards Jordan, no, of course not. But even with Wizards Jordan, before he hurt his knee, he was averaging like 25, 5, and 5. There were only 2 or 3 players doing it in the NBA at that time. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Tracy McGrady were the only 3 players putting up those kind of numbers. And the Washington Wizards were on pace to make the playoffs and on pace for a 50-win season until he got injured. And he started scorching before All-Star break. But it is what it is. The injury happened and things didn't pan out the rest of the way with the Wizards like we would have liked to see. It is what it is. But even with that being said, what we're seeing from LeBron right now is unprecedented. No question. Now, I heard Stephen A. Smith say that, see, I don't know how much of this Larry Bird quote. You know, let me look something up. Okay, I thought I heard Stephen A. See, this entire quote wasn't on the little ticker at the bottom or whatever, the subject at the bottom. Because I heard Stephen A. Smith say something about Larry Bird told people to leave LeBron alone or something like that. So I just found an article that had the full context. It said, Larry Bird said this: "I tell people quit whining about LeBron," Bird said in an interview with NBA TV. "Enjoy him while he's here. He's unbelievable." Now, we have a lot of Larry Bird's fans here, right here on this channel. This channel is probably has a bigger Larry Bird. Oh, what am I trying to say? This channel is comprised of more Larry Bird fans than any other player we have or discuss or talk about on this channel. No question about that. The Bird gang is here. And with that being said, many of the Larry Bird fans here, quite a few, aren't too fond of LeBron James for various different reasons. And we have some that legitimately love LeBron James and thinks he's great, but they just don't think he's as great as the mainstream media props him up to be. So you'll get an assortment of Larry Bird fans with varying opinions on LeBron, but I feel like the most of them at least feel that he's not as great as the mainstream media props him up to be. And me personally, the mainstream media is pushing him in as the greatest of all time. And I agree with the Larry Bird fans. I don't think LeBron's the greatest of all time. I don't even think LeBron's greater than Larry Bird. I think Larry Bird's the greatest small forward in NBA history. Yeah, I think Larry Bird's greater than LeBron. Sorry, tell me I don't know basketball because I said that. That's okay. So Larry is entitled to his opinion. I don't mind Larry Bird saying, oh, LeBron's one of the greatest of all time, which I agree with. And then Larry Bird said, if not the greatest of all time. Well, that's where I go my separate ways with Larry Bird. And you can interpret that part however you want to. I can see how people can maybe interpret that 2 different ways, like saying, oh, he's just saying that LeBron James is great. So if you're not saying he's great, then you better be saying, or if you're not saying that he's one of the greatest, then you're obviously saying that he's the greatest of all time because you can't take his greatness away from him. That's one way you can interpret it, right? Or you can just interpret it as simply saying that, okay, LeBron James legitimately has a greatest of all time argument that's valid and has the credentials to be the GOAT. But either way, that's where me and Larry Bird go our different directions, which is fine. It's fine. Me personally, I've never had an issue with people saying LeBron is a GOAT. I vehemently disagree, but I can understand your argument in some areas, and in some areas I disagree with. But my only problem I have is when people make stuff up about LeBron James, lie, revise history, tear down other players, don't provide context, and literally just like I said, just hit you with a bunch of BS that's not true. That's when I go my separate ways. But that's just me. And that's where me and Larry Bird go our separate ways. But Bird's entitled to his opinion. But when Bird says, I tell people to quit whining about LeBron and join while he's here, it's unbelievable. Yes, I'm enjoying him while he's here. I'm along for the ride. I'm not a LeBron James fanatic or super fan by any measure, but we're witnessing something and I'm watching it, and I give the man credit when he plays bad, and I critique him when he doesn't play bad. It is what it is. But I say this to you, Larry Bird, and I know Larry Bird isn't like dialed into everything that's going on in social media circles centered around the NBA like I am, or really paying attention to what all these people are saying on these networks like I am. So when he says, yeah, I tell people quit whining about LeBron James, maybe Larry doesn't understand these people have legitimate reason to whine about LeBron James. I feel like all my reasons are valid and unbiased, and a lot of people are also whining just about all the legenda BS. Like I said, the false narratives, the clutch affiliations, everybody trying to force feed you this LeBron James is the greatest of all time and shoving it down your throat while tearing down other players. A lot of people have a problem with that kind of stuff as well as the flopping, as well as the cryptic tweets, as well as, the narcissistic comments and actions, the guy claiming that he's the GOAT, the list goes on, the super teams, the list goes on. So people, especially fans from prior areas of basketball that grew up with these prior eras of basketball, they see what's going on in today's NBA with LeBron James being the face of the league and really being a reason for the dynamic shift and how the NBA has evolved, maybe for lack of a better word, and have the product that we have now as consumers. It's a totally different league. It's cupcakes. It's soft. It's a players' league now. Everybody wants to team up with everybody. Everybody wants to join super teams. Nobody wants to honor contracts. People are babies, this, that, and that. Now, LeBron James has always honored his contract. Let me say that right now. But it has evolved into this, starting with his player empowerment, and now it's just been taken to a whole nother level. And a lot of these owners are acquiescing to the needs of the players because they know the players bring money, and they put butts in a seat, and they'll fire coaches and fire GMs for the players, and a lot of times they'll fire these executives, and then the player ends up leaving anyway. You know what I mean? So a lot of people feel like, and I feel like, LeBron James started that trend and catapulted it, but now it's just so ridiculous now. But like I said, LeBron James has always honored his contracts. And some players demand trades because for various reasons. I get it. But there's players out here that just can never be satisfied. They're just whiny babies. And they force themselves to a team, and then all of a sudden, okay, here you are. This is where you want to be. Well, I'm going to force my way out of here now. Force my way out of there. It's like, dude, what? What are you doing? And to be fair, Larry, as long as these mainstream media outlets keep talking about them and not being honest as they're broadcasting to millions around the world, impressionable people, malleable people, and keep putting out lies that I have debunked time after time after time right here on this channel, as long as they keep doing that, I'm going to keep giving them pushback. And it might sound like me whining, but somebody has to put the truth out. Somebody has to tell people the truth, because it's not fair. They don't do that for other players. They never did that for other players. Lie on behalf of their legacy and their career to try to manipulate people to have a certain opinion about this player, to prop him up. That I don't stand for. That I do not stand for. And I'm sure Larry doesn't know all that's going on. How corrupt a lot of this stuff really is. And how biased a lot of this stuff really is. And how players have infiltrated and built connections with these media outlets. And that's where I have to come in and give pushback. Because I won't stand for it. I won't. And it didn't start with LeBron James for me. I created this channel because all the lies and BS and false narratives about Kobe Bryant. And I was like, I got to come in and do something about this. Because they're not going to keep tearing this guy down the way they are. Because this ain't true. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'll tell you where your criticism of Kobe Bryant is valid. Because I do it myself. So Larry's entitled to his opinion. If Larry thinks, and Larry has spoke on LeBron James before. This isn't the first time. I remember a long time ago, before LeBron started winning championships and the Kobe-LeBron debate was going on. And Larry Bird said, they asked him a question, who would you rather play with, or who would you rather want on your team? Something like that. He was like, well, if I want to have fun and play basketball, this, that, and the third, I'd pick LeBron James. But if I want to be a champion, if I want to win championships, I want Kobe Bryant. And then as the years went on and LeBron James finally started winning championships, Larry has spoke on LeBron James before. He's always loved LeBron. So this doesn't surprise me that Larry Bird made a comment like this. It doesn't surprise me at all, especially as LeBron James keeps going and going and going and stacking up on the records and individual stats. I mean, that's LeBron's goal at this point, because he knows he's not going to win a championship debate. That ship has sailed. So it's about accumulating totals, numbers, right? So anyway, I'm done. I've rambled on too long. Let me know what you think about it. Please, I would love to hear your opinion. Share it with me right here in the comment section. Am I being unfair? Let me know. Cast your opinion on Larry Bird. Cast your opinion on Mike. Cast your opinion on LeBron. And let's talk about it, all right? Appreciate you guys. Always a fun time chopping it up. And I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.